When Title 42 ends, which is a date that's approaching, what's the game plan from the Biden administration?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Well, that's the whole answer.
And I don't think they do either.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering this week and where the story is going next. I'm Sarah Westwood, and I'm here today with commentary editor Conn Carroll. And Conn, there was a deadly fire that broke out this past week at the southern border. Tell us what happened there, and then why you wrote in a piece this week you fully blame the Biden administration for creating the conditions for this.
Sure. So this is a very tragic incident. There was a detention facility in Ciudad Juarez, so this is right across the border from El Paso in northern Mexico. And basically, since October, the Biden administration has been using Title 42 to prevent Venezuelans from entering the country on the southern border and sending them back to Mexico. Now, this has caused a problem for the Mexican authorities because there are now a bunch of Venezuelans in northern Mexico waiting to come in. And the Mexican authorities have increasingly been detaining them and actually deporting them back to Venezuela, and the migrants are happy about this. So what happened is a migrant set fire to a mattress inside this detention facility, and instead of putting the fire out, the guards basically just left, and the whole thing burned down, and 40 migrants died. Very tragic incident. And, you know, this is Biden's fault because from even before he was elected, he said, you know, for migrants around the world, please come to the United States. We will take you in. And they answered his call. And then for the first 2 years of his administration, he was just letting them come in. They'd come to the border, get arrested, and he would release them into the country. So that's why there are so many migrants in northern Mexico. And the authorities there just don't know what to do with them all.
When Title 42 ends, which is a date that's approaching, what's the game plan from the Biden administration?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Well, that's the whole answer.
And I don't think they do either.
Have they talked about it? Is this something that they're sort of discussing openly, or are they being asked about it?
Oh, yeah. Mayor Gross was testifying this week, and he's asked about it, and he said they have a plan. He didn't really say what it was.
A secret plan.
And we'll find out together.
We'll find out together. That's great. So the recent economic turmoil that we've seen, especially regarding the banks, has been blamed on the nearly $2 trillion that Congress pushed into the economy through the American Rescue Plan. But the Examiner had an interesting editorial this week about how that's really only half the story in terms of the money that the Biden administration has been pumping into the economy. How much else has Biden spent?
Sure. I mean, we think about government spending, we think about Congress passing a bill, and then the money going out. But the administrative state is so large. There are so many different levers that a president has to tweak what policies are, that you can actually spend a lot of money just by tweaking rules and it's just throwing more money out the door. So in our editorial, we identified $1.5 trillion in spending that Biden has done by tweaking regulatory rules since he came to the office. Now, the biggest ticket item in that is his student loan bailout, his student loan amnesty. That alone cost $700 billion. Then he expanded Medicaid. So basically, states are required by law to go through their Medicaid rolls. It's a means-tested program, and they're supposed to test everyone's eligibility at least a couple times a year. Biden said, look, you guys only have to do that anymore. You only have to do it once a year. And so the CBO scored that and said, look, that's going to add another $300 billion in spending. And then he also boosted food stamp benefits. Normally, the USDA recalculates the food stamp benefits every 5 years. He moved it up, and then the USDA totally got rid of their usual scientific guidelines for citing benefits and boosted them in a way that the Inspector General said was not corresponding with their established science, their established protocol. And that move cost another $200 billion. So all told, there's some other items that are a lot smaller. There's $1.5 trillion and more spending that Biden has done just through these regulatory fixes.
Well, Conn, thank you so much for being here today. You can get more writing from Conn and the rest of the commentary team at washingtonexaminer.com.